I heard about you, your type. I have realized. Let me tell you what I realized. Our parents were hoes.
I think my butt.
My butt
I
getting
think
big.
my butt
Get
getting big.
big out. It's get okay. So I also got popped for that song also because my mommy said it's getting hot. Where is it hot at? The roof is on fire. Literally. And then one day I think it was like on one of the channels or whatever, the video or whatever, and specifically the part that she got to see was, I think it's like in the beginning of the video where he's like, no, it's not, it's in the like at the end of it or whatever, when he goes, the roof is on fire, we don't need no water, let the mother burn. Becky, before we got to the burn part, mommy was already outside my head. She's already outside my head. Burn? Well, there's a fire? That's what you do? That's what your children do? That's what you do? I'm looking at her like, I really would like you to keep that same energy when Alan Cave's motherfucking Chocolat comes on. I would really like you to keep that same energy then, because last time that song came on, you was being a hoe.
In the house talking about,
Yeah, but guess where we got that from? Mommy is the one who told me that I was too stiff. Mommy was like, she's the first person that ever told me I didn't have rhythm. She was like, you're too stiff. You're too stiff at that. Move your hips. Move your hips. Mommy is the first person that did that to me. Showed me how to dance going back, going forth. She literally made me do the thing and was like, you're too stiff. You're too stiff. Why you over telling me I can't fucking dance to the roof is on fire and you over here talking about some chocolat, suki. I heard about you, your type. I have realized. Let me tell you what I realized. Our parents were hoes.
I realized how experienced
Fuck
mommy
that
was
shit.
when I was explaining, because I never describe you guys as half siblings. Like you're my sister, that's my brother, that's my sister. Like y'all my
Now
family.
I have called the older one a half before,
Okay,
but
see, I don't do that. It's just it's
I
either I'm
have.
talking about you or I'm not. And
People
so
don't even believe it because we look so much fucking alike. They be like, "You sure?"
see, I've never did that, but people be doing that. But then, like, I don't remember when I did this, but I was like, okay, they don't have the same daddy. Okay, I know I don't got the same daddy. They don't. Berta don't got the same daddy. She live with her daddy. They don't.
And then Esther and Daniel don't
I was
either.
like, mommy was getting around the time.
So let me tell you when I realized. Shortly after I had my damn child to them early in my life. Because at this point I had a child. And so that put me in different situations, right? So I got really curious about my dad and like started asking my mom, started asking mommy more questions. And mommy would like act like she couldn't talk about him and all this extra stuff or whatever. Yeah. And then the day I remember when she gave me the story about how she only like him or whatever, blah 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 blah. And so,
That would have been the perfect time for you to be like, well, so
oh son, Bagay Kufavel, she would have beat the shit out of me. So she said, so I was like, well, how did your daddy get to how did you and my daddy do it anyway, or whatever? Because the way you do, mommy makes it sound like she don't fuck with that nigga at all, whatever. And I done had sex and I done had a baby, and I know that I had to like him. At least for me, I had to like him to have done it in the first place, so that I've let it go as far as it went. So now I understand all them things, because me and my friends used to sit around before I lost my virginity and stuff. We used to sit around and talk about losing our virginities and how they had lost their virginities and all this extra shit. They're liars. They're liars. Not one of them did it, because what they described is not what I went through. And he was trying to be gentle. So either way, mommy told me that her and my dad don't get along or whatever. And he went back to his family. Is what she said.
back.
Back to his family. Confused. Then a little while later, maybe a few weeks later, or something like that, Daniel and mommy get into it about his daddy. This is me starting to connect things though. Daniel and mommy get into it about his daddy, and now with his daddy, I had known that like supposedly the story is that Daniel's dad was hitting on mommy and she ran from Haiti because he was being abusive or whatever. She was still pregnant. When she got here, she was pregnant or something like that. Like that's the story that I got from a lot of people, like family or whatever, right? Mommy told me that story, and then other people were like, yeah, because when Daniel's dad died, not a lot of our family was remorseful about that. So I think Daniel was the saddest about it, but he didn't even know him. But it is what it is.
That's why he was sad. Hello. Anyway.
Either way, that made me be like, because I think that's the first time I really realized that mommy had sex with more than one person. I think first time I like clicked it in my head. So I'm like, oh, okay. Then yo daddy, right? She I remember her saying, because you asked her not too long after, it was like we were all about to, you asked her and she said your dad passed away. So I was like, okay.
So wait, I just want to be clear that Esther's realizations is like, all right, one body, two bodies.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I never wanted to look at mommy in no kind of weird, like, I floated on everything she said. So I couldn't imagine. And then, so what are we talking about? We talking about your dad, Berta Daddy, right? And I know Berta Daddy went back to his wife. I was like, literally, I remember the day it started to click for me. Okay. And then it was like these hip hop songs. It was like Baby Mama. And I was like,
oh my God. To be singing. Well, I don't know if it was us or just me. I used to be singing. I ain't saying she go digger to mommy.
She ain't messing with no broke nigga. Yeah.
And mommy really wasn't a gold digger because mommy worked so hard.
Yeah,
but she was,
and she didn't need none of these niggas for their money because she took care of all her kids. She took care of all her kids. So I don't even know what the dynamics was for all of that or whatever. I do know that my dad paid child support. I found that out later on. But I do know that. Either way, Beck came into the picture, and this is when like he came back in, and this is when everything cleared up for me, and I was like, oh, mommy is a home wrecker. This is when I said that. And she one of them who didn't really give a damn. Like, that ain't got nothing to do with her. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Whatever you got going over there, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Because when Beck came back to mommy, he had some whole other situation going on or whatever. I heard him and mommy talking about it, and mommy being like, well, you can go to that bitch then, essentially. Like, literally being like, well, you can go back. And Beck not leaving. Then after, now this is years later, right? After I remember thinking that to myself about mommy, right? But I never really took it far because Beck didn't leave. And can she really wreck a home that don't want to be wrecked? So my father dies, and I get to know my sibling. And I am hearing these things. And I am like, oh, she knew what she was doing. I feel like mommy wanted an attached man so she could still do her thing, live her life, be who she wanted to be, you know what I mean? But still have the companionship that came with it. And you could only really get that carefree with an attached man. Because a single man, I think she knew who she was. And I think that every guy who she brought around, who she was really messing with, they were going pretty strong. I can't really remember any guy that mommy brought around that she wasn't, you know what I mean? So I feel like she got to the point where she didn't want no relationship no more and was like, oh, I'm gonna go for unavailable niggas. And okay, sis.
If you don't want no commitments, just say that then.
Just say that then, because yeah,
say that.
like, I could call mommy a hoe because I really can't remember that many guys like in her life. So I don't know. Maybe she was out there doing stuff or whatever, but she didn't bring it home. So I remember our dads, right, and barely. But because I'm no Dana today or whatever, and I don't really remember yours too much anymore. I think the older I get, the less I remember yours.
So you remember Roberta's dad like we all do because he is still present in our lives.
And I remember my ain't been there dad. So then out of that, I remember the boyfriend that she had when she passed, Beck, who we're questionable on this one here, but I won't.
T-Boise, I really like T-Boise, but he wasn't no good for her. But he was good for me because he used to be bringing me my treats.
Yeah, you know what, being honest, he was cool because I think he was young, and maybe Bobby was actually really young also. That's another thing is Bobby had her first child at 23. She had me at 26, almost 27. 26, because she turned 27, sure, whatever. Either way, when we were looking at mommy, we were actually really looking at a young person. She feels so old to me. I swear to you, it feels so old. But we were actually really looking at a young person. T-Boise just had the young person spirit. We played tag, and one of the best games of tag I ever had was in that backyard. Yo, we was out there for hours, just tag, I'm running around. Yo, I actually went. I hurt myself because I went up to the attic in the garage. You know, the garage thing. I went up there and caught myself hiding, and whatever I was getting up, there was like a piece of wood or something right there that was like kind of out. And you know, you call yourself running past, I scraped the whole side of my shit, getting past that. Oh, take the wheel. I remember it today. But did that stop me from playing? No, because guess who was it? Me. But yeah, no, but she fucked his ass up.
And it didn't end well, but T-Boise, I'm gonna pour out a drink for you.
You know, I hope he's okay.
Yeah, me too. I hope he's well. I hope her last boyfriend was well too because he was a nice man.
Yeah, I can't really say that.
Well, I can because I lived with her, but he seemed to really care for her. He did, and it was nice to see her like be loved delicately.
Yeah. Which is really nice because mommy needed delicate love.
Mm-hmm. That was really nice to see. It was like, you fuck with her crazy ass for real.
Oh, you know, that's actually really, really cool because I always see myself kind of like mommy, and so I figure in my mind I would like for somebody to fuck with my crazy ass for real. Because I know it gets a little wild up in here. I'll be trying, but I got nothing but love for you, babe.
So, shout out to Story Times.
Shout out to Story Times.